Thick fog is causing travel disruption around the UK, and forecasters warn it's likely to continue for much of today.
Our main story today, forecasters have warned that thick fog, which has caused travel disruption around the UK over the past 24 hours, is likely to continue for much of the day.
Airline passengers are being warned of further cancellations and delays, with motorists also being urged to take extra care on the roads due to reduced visibility. Our reporter Simon Jones has the latest.
As the fog descended at Heathrow Airport, so did the gloom for the passengers caught up in the delays and cancellations it's been causing. Hundreds of flights at several airports, including Gatwick and Glasgow, have been affected at one of the busiest times for travel during the festive break. At Manchester, those returning to the UK after Christmas abroad were relieved finally to touch down, even if it was much later than expected.
We were an hour late boarding, then when we got on the plane, they said it's going to be another hour and a half because they're queuing up at this end because of the fog. So otherwise we'd have been flying around with no fuel.
I think it was delayed by 2 hours or something like that, due to the fog and stuff. I'm glad to be back home.
This was the murk at Cardiff. The UK's main air traffic control provider, NATS, put in place temporary air traffic restrictions due to the widespread fog. In a statement, it said, "Restrictions of this sort are only ever applied to maintain safety. We continue to monitor the situation and have a Met Office expert embedded within our operation to ensure we have the latest available information." But there are warnings that this might not be quick to resolve.
The airlines, despite all their best efforts last night, will be faced with a big problem this morning, that their planes and their pilots aren't necessarily in the right place to start getting people where they need to be. So I'm afraid disruption could continue all day. And if fog remains, then that is going to be very disruptive for tens of thousands of passengers.
Drivers are being urged to take care on the roads too, as many make the journeys home from family and friends. The tricky conditions have been created by persistent low cloud, mist and fog being trapped in place by a slow-moving area of high pressure.
That moist air has created a lot of cloud that's got lower and lower, which has allowed us to have an awful lot of misty and murky conditions, particularly on Friday, which had a few impacts for some roads and airports. Good news, though, is through Saturday, winds will pick up. So we'll see that clouds starting to break up in the north. Still pretty misty and murky day for much of England and Wales.
The fog has created some stunning scenes, though those hoping to travel today will certainly be glad to see the back of these wintry wonders. Simon Jones, BBC News.